started 2020 on a high with the closing of our first $8.4 million fund, and we were well into planning this year's program when the pandemic hit. It took us a while to understand that we would have to take the program remote and couldn't visit our locations in Hawaii, Norway and Singapore as we had done in 2019. Taking our program online isn't an easy task, but our team dug in and made it happen, and we are now immensely proud to welcome 8 new portfolio companies to the Hatch family. Today marks the last day of this year's accelerator program, but it marks the beginning of many challenges and successes ahead of us.
This year's cohort selection represents some of the trends that we're seeing in the industry. Alternative meats, they're a very hot topic. So we also went out earlier this year and looked especially for plant-based versions of that in the seafood industry. Sustainability, not only since COVID, is important to us. We again invested in alternative feed ingredients and also invested in software that supports the farming of oysters. And lastly, data and monitoring is an ever important topic in our aquaculture industry. So we invest in 2 technologies, one that has a novel way of measuring pH and another one that monitors mycotoxins. So both of them obviously have applications beyond aquaculture, but we're excited to see what they can do for the aquaculture industry.
We had a record number of aquaculture and alternative seafood applications this year, despite world events. This year, all of our due diligence on the companies was performed remotely, which involved many emails, the sending of samples, and of course, online calls. Hatch invests globally, and the Hatch team is spread across the world, so it also involved fielding many different time zones. In the end, we selected 8 world-class companies who we've had the pleasure of working with. Today, our cohort will be pitching remotely, which is different from usual demo days. The companies won't be able to see a physical audience or speak to you in breaks, so if you're an investor or a potential client watching, please don't be shy and reach out to the companies who are of interest to you.
Greetings everyone from beautiful Bergen. My name is Wayne Murphy and I'm a co-founder and partner at Hatch. This year's programme was an incredible journey and our most challenging ever for obvious reasons. And it was always going to need a truly special and committed group of entrepreneurs to make it a success. 8 teams featured this year from as far away as Hawaii and Australia, with each demonstrating incredible grit and determination to succeed. It has been a pleasure to see both the individual and team growth over the last 4 months as they each now seek to make an impact on the aquaculture industry and to build globally successful companies. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all our mentors who gave up their time selflessly to provide input, direction and advice to all our teams. And of course, finally, to our Hatch team. It takes a lot of work to pull a program like this together, and we are very fortunate to have a very talented and committed group. Thanks guys for all your efforts. Today is just the beginning of the next stage of our cohort's journey, as they now share with you their story, progress, their technology, their ambitions, and their future potential. Please enjoy.
Satellite observations enable us to automatically detect shrimp ponds, know when production is starting, and estimate time of harvest.
Warden advances the sustainability of farm seafood through global satellite observation and a mobile platform where farmers share and trade data.
We are well along the road to create the largest algae farm on Earth. We have developed and fully tested a patented technology that gives us the means to grow algae as naturally as it grows in the oceans, using only sunlight, seawater, and wind.
By giving fish the healthiest nutrition early on, we give them a better chance in life. What seafood offers is a new live feed to the hatcheries to increase their survival, growth, and quality of their fish juveniles.
Smart Oysters uses GPS maps and customisable reports to capture the farmer's unique farm practice. It notifies you when your next grade is due, it assigns tasks for maintenance, it keeps track of where your gear and oysters are. It helps you bring on new staff.
Mycotoxins are an abundant threat to the health of livestock animals, and we simply do not have detection technologies that can fully protect against these toxins. Exciplex is using cutting-edge photochemistry to build faster and more versatile mycotoxin detection systems to address this global challenge.
Harmful aquatic organisms are causing billions in damages and losses for drinking water, recreation, as well as aquaculture. We use AI to automatically monitor harmful organisms in water. Starting with aquaculture, our solution will support the future of sustainable food production.
On the market today, there are no plant-based seafood offerings that would convince or lure a seafood eater. Being in the seafood industry for as long as we have, we know exactly what seafood is supposed to look, smell, taste like. And that's why creating plant-based alternatives came natural to us.
Our current pH sensors limit us. They break, they lie to us, they let us down, we read them wrong. At ANB Sensors, we are enabling this new world of 24/7 accurate monitoring by providing best-in-class pH sensing without calibration.
Welcome to Hatch Demo Day 2020. My name is Tanya Hool and I'm the Innovation Manager at Hatch and your host for today. We have people from across the globe joining in with us to this event, and thank you so much for joining us. We are streaming this event live from Hatch's location in Bergen in Norway and across the globe from our team's locations from Hawaii to Basement Bay in Australia. You are watching the finale of this year's global cohort for the world's first and only accelerator program focused on aquaculture and alternative seafood. For the next 80 minutes, we will present to you 8 amazing companies. First, with an introduction video, followed by a live Q&A session from our team's locations across the globe. To our investors, you are able to download the decks of the company's presentation and book your meetings right on the webpage here down below. For the rest of the audience who are watching, who would like to get connected with these companies, please use the Get in Touch button, which you also can see on the webpage here, straight under where I'm now pointing. Despite the challenges with the global pandemic, our teams have worked harder than ever, committed to make an impact for a healthier and more sustainable food system. The incredible progress our companies have done over the last few months could not have been made without the great support from our global community. I would like to thank our investors, our partners, our sponsors, and our mentors for all your contribution over the last few months. It is now time for me to introduce to you our first company presentation. Please welcome the plant-based seafood company.
Studies indicate that 60% of the fish stocks in our ocean currently are at capacity and 30% are completely depleted. At the same time, the demand for seafood year over year increases. And with our population set to explode to 10 billion by 2050, there's no way our oceans could possibly keep up. It's obvious that another alternative is needed, one without any sacrifice at all, and that's plant-based seafood. The problem is, currently on the market today, there are no plant-based seafood offerings that would convince or lure a seafood eater to choose the plant-based alternative over the seafood analog. From QVC to Oprah's favorite list to landing on thousands of grocery store shelves, for over 20 years, our all-female family-owned company has been creating awesome, award-winning seafood experiences. We know exactly what seafood is supposed to look, smell, taste like, and that's why creating plant-based alternatives came natural to us. Being in the seafood industry for as long as we have, we've seen some pretty unacceptable things go on around us. These experiences were so impactful that they are what's fueling our passion for creating sustainable seafood options for future generations. But we know this is no easy feat, so that's why we focus on taste first. We're located and headquartered on a little island in the Chesapeake Bay. We test out all of our products on lifelong seafood lovers. If it doesn't pass their test, we keep working.
No way, they're so good! Who tried?
Oh, I haven't tried them yet. Yeah, all right.
And if taste is king, clean is queen. All of our products are gluten, dairy, corn, and most importantly, soy-free. Even having just launched in August, our plant-based crunchy coconut shrimp has won Most Disruptive and Innovative Product of 2020 by the Spirit of Innovation Awards. And we've been nominated for Best New Vegan Meat Alternative by PETA, alongside Morningstar and Beyond Meat. And we're not stopping there. In January, we're launching our lobster and crab cakes, followed by a fish fillet later on in the year. We all want to make the world a better place. We all want to know that our everyday decisions can make a difference. Our plant-based seafood gives consumers the satisfaction that their choices are doing just that, without having to sacrifice taste, health, the environment, or our precious oceans. So join us on this exciting frontier of reimagining sustainable seafood.
And now we kick off and go live to Gwen Island in Chesapeake Bay in USA, and to meet Monica, the CEO of the plant-based seafood company. Hi, Monica.
Hi,
I'm
Tanya.
sure that many people who are watching us are eager to try some of your tasty plant-based seafood products. Can you tell us more about how you make your products and where are you sourcing your ingredients from?
Absolutely. All of our seafood products are made using functional ingredients that imitate the sea animal. So we use textured ingredients such as artichoke heart, hearts of palm, green cabbage, and a root vegetable used for centuries in Asia, actually for medicinal purposes, called the Japanese yam or konjac root. And these specific textures are there to tell your brain, this is the real thing. And then we combine that with specific seasonings that then tell your taste buds, okay, this came from the ocean. We use pea protein as our source of protein content, and kelp and algae not only to enhance the seafood smell, but to also add omega-3s. And the result is a really awesome seafood experience that looks and feels, and most importantly, tastes like the real thing. And we've been having so much fun blowing people away with how close it is, even the most discerning seafood lover.
It sounds delicious. So how does a plant-based seafood company is different from other competitors?
Great question. So we feel we have very strong competitive advantages over our competitors. First and foremost is our experience in the seafood industry. So we've been creating awesome seafood experiences for customers for over 20 years. We know what we're doing. Second, we have first to market advantage with creating a plant-based seafood product that is indistinguishable from its seafood analog, most notably our scallops and also our shrimp as well. So there's others on the market, but none as convincing as ours. Third is our commitment to clean label. So we create all of our plant-based seafood using really clean ingredients because we recognize the good for you, good for the planet movement is here to stay. It's the new normal, and it's really the standard for any good food product on the market today. Fourth is our story. So being a consumer-facing brand with aspirations to really dominate retail, a strong brand story is essential. And we know from experience that a family-owned story really resonates with consumers, and it makes for a memorable brand experience and also adds credibility and trust. And trust is really important when you're talking about introducing, products as disruptive as ours. And also our innovation pipeline. So we're not just coming out with, just the next shrimp or the next scallop. We are creating really awesome, delicious products like Bang Bang shrimp or coconut shrimp or sweet ginger scallops to really entice that mainstream consumer to try the products. And because of our strong e-commerce strategy, we're able to get those new products and innovations to the consumers really quickly. And we're the first plant-based seafood company that just hits it out of the park with taste. And because of that, we will be the plant-based powerhouse that brings seafood alternatives mainstream.
So how have you funded this up to date? And do you have any plans when it comes to racing?
Sure, great question. Taken a small investment from Hatch, but have bootstrapped thus far. Otherwise. But to support the growth we're currently experiencing and anticipating, we're looking to raise in the near future. And those funds will be used to further product development, increase our speed to market, and also further our branding efforts as well.
You already have a lot of market traction with your seafood products. Tell us more about what is your go-to-market strategy?
Yeah, our traction has been phenomenal. The consumer feedback has been phenomenal. I mean, we just launched mid-August and we already won Most Disruptive and Innovative Product of 2020 by Spirit of Innovation Awards. Our sales are up 30% month over month. Repeat sales are also up month over month. So we have focused in the beginning since our launch on early adopters, and we're going to continue to do so in the beginning of next year with the launch into independent grocery stores in the United States. But by Q3 of next year is when we're really going to start to penetrate that larger, more mainstream market. And we're going to do that with co-branded food service opportunities, direct-to-consumer opportunities such as like meal subscription kits, as well as restaurant partnerships, and then a more mainstream retail rollout. And then from there, our goal is to really expand internationally to bring our products to the global market where the demand really seems to be limitless. And we're currently looking for strategic partnerships now to help support and fuel that explosive growth.
That sounds amazing. Thank you so much, Monica, and I wish you good luck with your meetings later.
Thank you, Tanya.
The plant-based seafood company has developed from a traditional seafood business with more than 20 years of experience serving award-winning products to the consumers. Monica, the second generation, is determined to build a powerhouse when it comes to alternative seafood products. Next, we're off to Michigan in the USA to introduce to you our second company, Exciplex.
Mycotoxin contamination in animal feed is a persistent challenge in aquaculture and livestock industries around the world. These toxins not only threaten the health and productivity of these animals, but they also cause financial ramifications throughout the feed production chain. It is estimated that over $1 billion in revenue is lost each year due to the presence of these toxins. And because existing detection technologies are largely limited to testing raw materials, we do not even have the capacity to measure the full extent to which these toxins impact the farm or farmers' profitability. This is exactly the problem that Exciplex was founded to solve. we are developing a new diagnostic technology that is going to redefine how we test for mycotoxins. Our technology is driven by cutting-edge photochemistry, meaning we are quite literally building this technology from the molecular level up. This technique is designed to specifically manipulate the properties of each mycotoxin, creating unique diagnostic signals that can be quantified either in a standard lab setting or in the field with our own smartphone-associated device. This proprietary technology is unlike anything in the field of diagnostics today, made possible only because our experts in photochemistry also have a background in agricultural research. For customers in existing mycotoxin detection markets, such as grain mills, our systems will offer a faster and simpler option. Sample preparation will require only 3 simple steps: mixing of the feed sample, a simple filtration, and then inserting the sample into the device where the smartphone app will take care of the rest and report back the data. Mix, filter, and test. We expect this process to be up to 5 times faster than existing products, addressing a key pain point in the current market. But we expect that the main advantage of our technology will be its versatility. We are designing this technique to work for all types of feed and feed inputs, from raw materials to finished feeds to the silages and forages consumed by beef and dairy cattle. This will allow us to provide detection systems that operate at the mill, on the farm, and everywhere in between, opening up entirely new market opportunities and enabling comprehensive traceability of mycotoxin contamination. With this level of information, we will have the opportunity to ensure that no animal will need to ingest these poisons ever again. That is good for the animals and the industry alike, allowing for more productivity and more efficiency in aquaculture and beyond. It is all going to start at the molecular level right here in the labs of Exciplex.
Daryl, you are the founder and the CEO of Exciplex. We learned from your video that mycotoxins is one of the biggest challenges we see in the feed industry. Tell us more about how you started Exciplex and your technology.
Yes, of course, and thank you, Tanya. So Exciplex was founded about 6 months ago, and the reason I decided to focus on mycotoxin detection was because, to me, it represented an extremely unique opportunity to rapidly turn molecular level discoveries into global scale impacts. So I am a chemist by training, and once I started learning about the chemical structures of mycotoxins, I realized that some of my photochemical expertise was tailor-made for detecting these toxins. And given some of the limitations of existing technologies, it was clear that this was a potential first-in-class solution. There was also an obvious commercial opportunity here as well. Mycotoxin detection is already a billion-dollar industry, and it can grow substantially if a truly disruptive technology were to come along. And I think that's exactly what Exciplex is set to achieve.
Your technology has a broad application in the feed industry. Can you tell us more about who your target customers are?
Yeah, of course. I believe this technology is going to be versatile enough to serve a multitude of different customer bases. So the diagnostic technology alone offers opportunities in lab-based detection. So this is going to be the first product we roll out. And this can be provided either as a service or it can be something that the user themselves runs in their own lab, either via a licensing model or assay kits that we provide. When we combine that diagnostic technology with our smartphone-associated device, that opens up the on-site detection models. So grain mills would be a typical customer for this type of technique, and we will compete for their business with improved speed, simplicity, and the ability to detect multiple toxins per test. But the sky is really the limit when we look at the on-farm models. There really are not any viable options for real-time on-farm mycotoxin detection at this point in time, either in aquaculture or beyond. And I think this is where the versatility of our method is really going to have an impact. Whether this is being sold via a nutrition firm or direct to the producer themselves, we want to get our technology onto the farm, help protect the health and productivity of these animals, as well as the profitability of the farmer.
So do you have customers line up to beta test your device?
Absolutely. Though I will not complain if we have a few more on board after this is all said and done. And the beta testers we have lined up cover a broad range, from global scale players in feed production or animal nutrition, all the way down to small local mills, where I will be able to work right next to their mill operators and get those side-by-side comparisons with existing technologies. One thing that's been very apparent is that many companies are ready and waiting for the next generation of mycotox detection technologies. So there's been a lot of openness for collaboration, and hopefully there's more of that to come.
So for customers who are eager to test your technology, when will this be available in the market?
So the lab-based technology is very nearly ready, at least for a few mycotoxins. I'm more than happy to talk to anyone who's looking to expand their lab-based capabilities. The on-site technology, whether that's for the mill or on-farm use, that's still in development. We've hit some of our key proof of concept milestones, and now we're in the process of building the team that can really bring that into a reality. So we'll be filling a CTO position in the very near future. That's going to cover our manufacturing and engineering needs, as well as add some additional entrepreneurial experience to the team. And then we'll also be adding another member to specialize in the device R&D in the very near future. So we might be a small team as of now, but that's going to change quite a bit in the next couple of months here.
So what does Exciplex need to bring this technology to the market?
A strategic partnership with an animal nutrition company would be ideal. We are looking for a $500K investment, and we are open to discussing the terms of that partnership. This is really designed to support our team expansion, some of these key validation studies we have coming up, as well as some of the upfront manufacturing needs. So we feel great about our abilities to execute our early stage R&D goals. And if we can just get a little help with the validation side, as well as some financial support, we will be set to deliver all the promised capabilities and really change the way we think about mycotox detection.
Thank you so much, Daryl, and good luck with your meetings today.
Thank you.
Exciplex can help farmers to protect and preserve the health of their animals. Exciplex has demonstrated the progress in chemistry when it's focused on the smallest organisms. The next company has shown us how some of the smallest organisms can be the most beneficial to our planet. It gives me great pleasure to introduce to you our third company, SuSeWi, the co-founder and CEO, Keith Coleman, based in London.
When we imagine our magical oceans, we see the giant blue whales breaching Arctic waters, a rainbow of coral dancing at the bottom of reefs. Very rarely does one notice the most abundant and most nutritious element of the sea, algae, a tiny organism which swims near the surface. It produces more oxygen than all rainforests combined. It produces 5 times more food than all land plants can manage. And for each ton it grows, 2.8 tons of carbon dioxide is absorbed. Look closer, and you'll discover 300,000 varieties of algae that can meet our increasing needs for food and feed ingredients, fertilizers, pharma and fashion, completely sustainably and plant-based. Now, what if I told you that we did not have to go to the oceans to find this magic organism, but instead could grow thousands of tons of it in the deserts of Morocco, Oman, Chile, Namibia? We are well along the road to create the largest algae farm on Earth, from which we will produce plant-based ingredients, alternative proteins, long-chain omega-3s, pigments, and more for use in the food and aquafeed sector. We have developed and fully tested a patented technology that gives us the means to grow algae as naturally as it grows in the oceans, using only sunlight, seawater, and wind. Over the past 6 years, SuSeWi has grown from a 3 square meter real-world experiment on the shores of St. Helena, South Africa, to a 30,000 square meter production facility with the world's largest algae growth pond in the coastal desert of Morocco. We are ready to scale further. Our next phase is a 1 million square meter farm on the Atlantic coast of the Sahara Desert. Our process allows vast quantities of microalgae to grow on desert land without using fresh water, duplicating a natural process that deacidifies our ocean and oxygenates our air. Microalgae produces ingredients that can transform food, including proteins and omega-3s, and important compounds that can be used as nutrients, antioxidants, cosmetics, and nutraceuticals. We are first concentrating our efforts on producing microalgae high in proteins, omega-3, EPA, and DHA as a scalable, sustainable, and complete alternative to fish meal. We have demonstrated we can be successful across multiple species in all climates, from the rain and cold of a South African winter to the 50-degree desert heat of an Omani summer. The discoveries we make in the harsh desert can mitigate the greenhouse gas emissions of conventional agriculture, using less land and producing fresh water. We will also help protect the fish and coral reefs of the lush oceans being damaged by overfishing and warming oceans. With your help, we can spread this new technology around the globe, producing healthy food, a healthy planet, and healthy financial returns.
Hi, Keith. SuSeWi is growing algae not in the oceans, but in the deserts. Tell us more about your approach to grow algae that is different from other algae systems.
Hi, Tanya. Our chief scientist who designed the system took a very different approach from others in the industry. He saw how perfectly and abundantly algae grows in the oceans. So he used natural design principles to design the system. He essentially copied exactly what happened in nature. But instead of scaling up an artificial test tube, he scaled down the ocean. And so we get around 12 times greater throughput than other algae systems. Some of our secrets are that we do it in seawater, not freshwater. We add seawater with each cell division to maintain exponential growth. So from each cell on day 1, we get 3 billion cells on day 30. And we only use local species, not imported species. And we add fresh inoculum every day. We select our Moroccan production organism out of our library derived from thousands of isolates from the neighboring Atlantic Ocean. One of the benefits of this, by the way, is that most algae systems are tailored to a single species. We can grow quite a wide variety of organisms, giving us a portfolio of products. I could go on, but let's just say our patented system is really a breakthrough for the algae industry.
So what is it about your technology that makes this so scalable?
Apart from our biochemistry, it's our engineering. We've kept the engineering very simple so as to make it cost-effective and scalable. We have systematically stripped out all unnecessary processes and complex equipment. It's really simple. We use very large ponds, each with a paddle wheel. We use pipes to deliver water and gravity transfer between the ponds, greenhouses for early stage growth, and a really ultra simple harvesting system borrowed from the mining industry. So it's very buildable, very, very scalable. Operational scalability is enhanced by digital technology. We've built a digital twin of the full operating system, which using quite advanced algorithms, optimizes for the biology of each species, the operations across the day, the engineering design, and also optimizes the financial returns. In fact, we were recently awarded £5 million by the UK government to complete the digital platform, which is, we're already using satellite monitoring of our ponds, but we're going to be adding the Internet of Things equipment in every pond to monitor growth and quality. and AI to analyze the behavior of each species in response to environmental signals, so we can optimize both the growth and the characteristics of the product. And finally, we're adding robotics to perform the very simple operations to run the pond, like opening and closing gates, adding water, speeding up the paddle wheels. We've been told, in fact, that ours is the most advanced digital aquaculture platform in the world.
There are many different markets for your microalgae products, and you mentioned in the video that you are focusing now on aquaculture feed. Can you elaborate on that?
Sure. We've completed feed trials, in fact, at the University of Plymouth on both salmon and trout, which show that our product has better feed conversion ratios and specific growth rates than fish meal, and is a viable substitute for fish meal. And we've signed an offtake agreement with a fish feed manufacturer for everything we can make from our Morocco site. But as you heard Monica refer to requiring algae for the omega-3s, we are also beyond fish. We can skip the fish and produce direct-to-human food and food ingredients into the market within the next 3 years. We are in fact developing agreements with several companies for that purpose. Whatever we use our product for, it's important to know that we deliver better than net zero. The price we are seeking should recognize that. And so we expect to command a premium for improving the carbon footprint of our customers.
SuSeWi is ready to scale their production, and you are seeking investments. Can you tell us more about how much you're planning to raise and what will this enable you to do?
Okay, yes. We are looking for Series B funds right now. We're ready to take the next step, which is to build a full-scale production module and activate the offtake agreements. And we can start building immediately in Morocco. We have a 30-year lease on 6,000 hectares already. We've got full environmental clearance for that. And we have an investment agreement with the Prime Minister, which gives us favorable investment terms and support. After building the first module, we will scale up further in Morocco and license our technology to new locations. Oman first, where we've got 3,500 hectares of land to develop. The opportunity is one which we believe is valued by today's investment community. It's got good sustainable financial returns and is an investment which is positive for both people and planet. Our economics is good. We've moved far away from the high capex and opex costs of the algae industry in the past. And because we follow natural design principles, all our key inputs like sun, sea, and wind are all free. So it gives us very good EBITDA margins above 60%. So we can leverage the equity investment we're about to raise because we have good margins, we have known build costs, and an offtake agreement for everything we can make. In fact, several quite well-known DFIs, development finance institutions, really like what we're doing and are offering debt finance on favorable terms. To investors who want to position in transforming food to make it plant-based and sustainable, I genuinely cannot think of a better, more scalable opportunity than what we are doing. It's massively scalable, highly profitable, and the exit multiple will increase as we move up the value chain into human food. So yes, we are looking for Series B investment and for investors who share our vision and can help us to scale up.
Thank you so much, Keith. And we truly hope some investors now see this great opportunity.
Thanks, Tanya.
Once SuSeWi scales their operation, it will be massive. And I wonder how that will look like from space. And talking about space, aquaculture is one of the fastest growing food industries in the world. And to keep track of their production and to ensure its sustainability, more people are looking on satellite technology. Our fourth company, Warden, does exactly that. Please welcome Zach and Shelby live from our location in Hawaii.
Aquaculture is a rapidly growing industry, producing more than half of the world's seafood. Most of this production occurs in ponds. The problem the industry faces today is its own scale. How do you monitor production activity across millions of ponds around the world? Without reliable data, how do you track environmental impact? How do you ensure that the millions of farmers in these areas have access to the resources that they need?
My name is Zach Din, founder and CEO of Warden. I research satellite observation technology for aquaculture monitoring while studying at the University of California, Berkeley. During this time, I met Shelby Oliver, seafood auditor with hands-on aquaculture experience, and David Wong, software engineer. Together, we're solving data collection challenges in aquaculture, starting with shrimp farming. Shrimp is the most consumed seafood in the US and has a global value of $40 billion. Around the world, there are more than 250,000 farmers currently engaged in shrimp production. Satellite observations enable us to automatically detect shrimp ponds, know when production is starting, and estimate time of harvest. We utilize cloud-penetrating technology, enabling year-round monitoring at weekly intervals. We can observe routine pond fallowing, a best practice that reduces disease risk, as well as detect early pond emptying across a region, a potential indicator of disease outbreak. Region-scale monitoring requires processing terabytes of data each day. We provide this as a service, turning raw data into actionable insights through the Warden observation platform. Our insights can direct hardware suppliers and feed producers to emerging markets, while also optimizing feed production and distribution. Our unique perspective is shared with farmers, helping them make better decisions.
Remote monitoring can drive transformative impact within the aquaculture industry by improving farmers' access to financial products and by providing critical data needs to de-risk investments. We originally saw remote monitoring as a tool for seafood certification programs to conduct audits remotely during the COVID-19 pandemic. Today, we believe remote monitoring is the key to improved environmental outcomes and ocean health around the world. We're Warden, and we're advancing the sustainability of farm seafood.
Aloha, Shelby and Zach. You have recently relocated your business to Hatch's location at NELHA at the beautiful island of Hawaii. Zach, tell us what is next for Warden.
Aloha, Tanya. We're so excited to be here today. So our vision is to monitor global aquaculture activity, and we plan on starting with the top 5 shrimp production countries, first with Vietnam and Indonesia, and then expanding to India, Thailand, and Ecuador. Right now, we're tracking more than 80,000 ponds in Soc Trang province, which is a major production region in Vietnam. On top of that, weekly observations, we've analyzed more than 4 years worth of historic data for each pond. So in just 16 weeks, we've lined up several partnerships with input and equipment suppliers that will allow us to begin generating revenue in the first quarter of next year.
You're using satellite technology to collect data. Can you tell us more about what kind of solutions Warden is providing and for who?
Yeah, thanks for the question, Tanya. By observing farming activity at scale, we can do several things. We can see what type of equipment farms are using, and this is really helpful for companies selling equipment like sensors, aerators, and auto feeders. Our weekly observations can also help feed producers optimize feed manufacturing and delivery, and this is also useful for seafood importers and exporters that want an edge on production forecasting. We're also able to help financial institutions expand their offerings to farmers by providing the data they need to de-risk lending. So basically, we can support many members of the aquaculture industry, and we know this through extensive conversations and enthusiastic interest in piloting with us.
So how is Warden improving the livelihoods of the farmers?
Many farmers want access to capital and better markets to increase production and profitability. So we've created an app that lets farmers share information needed for certification audits and financial applications remotely. This will help farms grow and to do so in a sustainable way. This is a win for both social and environmental impact. We've been testing our app with farms in Hawaii, and we're preparing to pilot in Indonesia with a shrimp financing company and in Vietnam with the Aquaculture Stewardship Council, a leading seafood certification program.
So, Shelby, how do you envision remote monitoring will help the aquaculture industry to progress when it comes to their sustainability efforts?
Thanks for the question, Tanya. So we started Warden because we wanted to support efforts to improve social and environmental outcomes in aquaculture. And we believe there's a lot of opportunity to do this using our approach. So remote monitoring can be used to expand access of certification to more farmers by reducing auditing costs. But it also allows for area-based assessments, allowing us to track environmental impacts at scale. So we're really excited to say that we are recently selected by the Aquaculture Stewardship Council to explore the application of remote monitoring. So this opportunity came through the Gravity Challenge, a competition where innovators apply satellite observation technology to solve global challenges. So a real benefit of remote monitoring is that it makes large-scale assessments possible. This can drive meaningful change since it allows us to monitor things like habitat impacts across the landscape. And it's a tool that can be used to track and evaluate sustainability improvements across many farms in a region affordably. So we're looking forward to getting started with our pilot for remote monitoring with the Aquaculture Stewardship Council starting early next year.
So Shelby, my final question to our investors and potential customers watching with us here today, what is your ask for them today?
So Zach and I have touched on, we've made significant progress throughout these 16 weeks through the Hatch Accelerator program. We've secured partnerships and potential customers. So we're ready to use remote monitoring to make an impact in the shrimp industry. And we're going to start first with Vietnam and Indonesia. So to do this, we're looking for strategic partnerships, and we're also kicking off fundraising right now for our seed round of $500,000. So this investment is going to allow us to grow our capabilities by hiring another engineer, data scientists, and purchase high-resolution spatial imagery. So with the right resources, we'll be able to scale our ability to monitor from thousands of ponds to millions of ponds. So if this sounds interesting, come join us in our mission to advance the sustainability of farm seafood. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much, Zach and Shelby. Thanks to Warden's technologies, farmers across the world are able to remotely monitor their aquaculture productions. And we certainly see huge advantages to that given the current global situation. Our next company has developed a range of sensor technologies to measure one of the most common parameters of water quality, pH. It's my pleasure to introduce to you our fifth company, ANB Sensors from UK.
Accurate water analysis is crucial to the management of our environment at the macro and micro level. Getting this right is critical for our understanding and interaction with the world we live in, are exploring and want to utilise. The recent forest fires in Australia, for example, have devastated an area as big as Portugal. So one of the big issues is that when there is rain, there is nothing to stop all the ash running into the catchments. This spells an ecological disaster for Australia, with trouble for drinking water supplies, coastal ecosystems, and the freshwater rivers that support the iconic Australian wildlife. A dairy cow can produce up to 400 litres of methane per day. If we can accurately measure the pH of the cow's stomach, the production of methane can be monitored and minimised. But our current pH sensors limit us. They break, they lie to us, they let us down, we read them wrong. In order to see more clearly, we need to have 100% confidence that our tools will deliver accurate readings to us every single time. At ANB Sensors, we are enabling this new world of 24/7 accurate monitoring by providing best-in-class pH sensing without calibration. Using our calibration-free technology enables pH, the most important chemical measurement for water quality, to be provided over sensing networks, giving timely and reliable water data like never before. Whether river networks, deep ocean, fish pens, or even the cow's stomachs, we have you covered. pH electrodes rely on an internal reference to which the measurements are made against. Over time, this reference drifts, making the measurement less and less accurate. Neat methods of minimising the reference drift or predicting it have all been developed in the past, but at ANB Sensors we've taken a different approach. We know that we can't stop the drift as it is intrinsic to the sensor, so we've come up with a novel way to track the drift, thereby allowing the sensor to self-calibrate. Water analysis is crucial for our understanding and interaction with the world we live in. A pH sensor that you don't need to keep recalibrating would allow for mass deployment of sensors throughout entire water networks, enabling continual monitoring and control, saving engineer time and travel miles to each sensor, lowering your carbon footprint, lowering operating costs, but also there would be no measurement downtime, so a significant cost saving there. You're going to have 100% confidence in your sensor data at all times, not just for the days after calibration, and you'd be able to make timely, optimal decisions for your processes based on the water quality data. Finally, in this world of IoT, reliable, accurate sensors are the key to unlocking what is happening over an entire process, be that a water pipeline, network, a fish farm, or an ocean.
Kay, welcome. You are one of the co-founders behind ANB Sensors. Your technology helps farmers to accurately measure pH and ensure good water quality. Tell us more about why pH is so important.
Yeah, of course. So pH is the #1 chemical measurement used today. It's vital for a vast amount of industries, from pharmaceuticals, food and beverage to the water industry. In aquaculture, pH is so important because the fish are totally dependent on the water to breathe, feed, grow and reproduce. So the end users really need to understand the physical and chemical qualities of the water. To a great extent, water quality determines the success or the failure of an aquaculture operation. But despite its importance, the pH technology used today, the glass electrode, has been around since the 1950s and has seen very little innovation really. It suffers from a few key issues. So the glass electrode is fragile, it's made of glass. It has to be stored wet at all times, and it doesn't work in ocean water. But the biggest downside is that the glass pH electrode needs to be manually calibrated to maintain its accuracy.
So tell us more about your team behind ANB Sensors and these technologies.
We've got a really good team at ANB Sensors. Nathan Lawrence is our CEO. He's leading the company and has a very strong technical background. We've got a wonderful team of scientists and engineers with a variety of backgrounds, a finance person and an IP lawyer that's helped us achieve a great patent portfolio. Alongside us, we've got a very strong board of commercially focused directors from NELHA Capital Partners and Hatch. And we do have a gap in our team. So we're currently recruiting a commercial person. So if anyone is out there listening that fancies a new challenge or knows someone that is, please get in touch.
You mentioned in your video that you have several patented technologies. Can you tell us more about what these patents actually cover?
Yeah, of course. So we have 2 patented calibration-free pH technologies. The S series that you saw in the video moves completely away from the glass pH electrode used so commonly today. As the video shows, it's a all solid state sensor made from robust plastic or titanium. So there's no fragile glass. It's much better suited for harsh environments. It can be stored wet or dry, and it's tuned to work in various media, from deep ocean waters to aquaculture and cows' stomachs. The second technology is our iRef. This is an enabling technology for the approximately 3 million glass pH sensors sold for industrial and water monitoring per year. Glass pH electrodes, as I've said, have to be constantly recalibrated to ensure accuracy. So our iRef is a technology that sits inside the glass electrode and makes it calibration free. So whether you want a robust sensor for the bottom of the ocean or a calibration-free glass electrode, ANB Sensors 2 technologies covers all the grounds.
So you have many different markets for your technology. Tell us how you actually got into aquaculture and what are your plans for the next 24 months?
So we were founded from success in the Wendy Schmidt Ocean Health X Prize, which was a global competition to measure ocean chemistry. So the team won second place in the affordability competition there, but more importantly, they were immersed in the problem and really got to see that there was a gap in the market for a calibration-free pH sensor. So ocean chemistry is where we started, and this is our first to market. In fact, we've launched our S1100 pH sensor this week at Oceanology International. And then next year, we move into freshwater, rivers, estuaries, and aquaculture. So in all these applications, the base idea is the same, but the chemistry and packaging of the sensor require optimization for each market in terms of accuracy and obviously price point. And then alongside that is the wireless data retrieval and data management. So we're looking now, as we go into next year, for partners, customers to help distribute and license our technology for aquaculture, but also work with us on the data retrieval and data management side to ensure that we give the customers exactly what they need.
So talking about your demand for your technology, tell us a little bit more about your traction up to date.
Well, we're not short of traction for our technology. We're in talks with a number of glass electrode manufacturers for the IREF technology. We plan to develop and commercialize this with them in the next 18 months. For the S-series, the solid state sensors, we've carried out tests with a number of environmental institutes across Europe, and we've deployed an earlier version of the sensor onto an underwater vehicle with Blue Robotics in California. We've got lots of interest from son manufacturers are really excited about being able to deploy a robust pH sensor alongside their other sensors in the sondes. And we're in advanced discussions with a couple of companies there. We've also had lots of interest from aquaculture, hydroponics, and the cow bolus. We even had a call from the European Space Agency who want to put our sensor on the International Space Station to monitor crop growth and water purification. Apparently, other sensors lose calibration when they go through takeoff. So hopefully we'll see an ANB pH sensor in space in the not too distant future.
Very impressive, Kay. Thank you so much and best of luck.
Thanks.
We have learned from ANB Sensors that water analysis is crucial for our understanding of the basis of a healthy aquaculture production. Our next company has shown us that good nutrition early in the life stage is just as important for fish as it is for humans. It is now time to introduce you to our 6th company presentation live from Trondheim in Norway.
In childcare, healthcare professionals coined a term, the first 1,000 days. This was to emphasize the importance of early nutrition. What we feed our children builds a foundation for their lifelong health. This is no different for fish. Feeding fish larvae the best nutrition helps them to grow faster and stronger throughout their lives. This is where Seafood comes in. Seafood produces copepods. It's a very small crustacean that are found naturally in marine habitats. Copepods are natural prey for fish larvae worldwide and are naturally high in nutritional content. Better yet, these crustaceans are easily digested and trigger active feeding behavior of the fish larvae. So at Seafeed, we offer copepod eggs and live copepods for the hatcheries globally. I've been the CEO in Seafeed for 4 years now, but I have been following the company since 2012. I first heard about Seafeed when I was working in a feed ingredient company and have been fascinated with the product since. I have worn many hats in the aquaculture industry for over 20 years, and in each role I could not help but notice how crucial the right nutrition is at the early stage of life. Copepods increase larvae survival, growth and quality of marine fish so that the hatcheries can sell higher numbers of healthy fish. And in growth farms, we have found that some species fed with copepods even have lower feed conversion ratios while being more resistant to the poor environmental conditions because of their strong immune systems. Cobbles are known over many years as the optimum early stage feed, and many have tried to produce copepods. But no one can produce, pack and preserve in densities and as efficiently as us. Our technology is built on over 50 years of R&D at Sintef Oceans. Our pilot factory in Trondheim has been operating non-stop now for the last 4 years. We have already a revenue, we are serving several markets, species and some of the biggest names in aquaculture already. But we can get bigger and better. Just by scaling, we will reduce production costs by 70% of the next years, produce more and access new markets globally. So we just want to change an old and ineffective way of growing juveniles. By giving fish the healthiest nutrition early on, we give them the best start in life. And by feeding the market more copepods, we will build the foundation of a stronger and more resilient aquaculture industry. At Seafeed, we're feeding the blue future.
Hi, Tore. You are the CEO of Seafeed. Tell us why copepods are so important for juvenile fish.
Hi, Tanya. I'm pleased to be here. Look, Tanya, this is all about nutrition, actually. You can easily think this like the mother's milk for a fish fry. It's the first it will eat, and it just give a perfect balance from day one. All proteins, all fats, everything is there. And you know, the core for a hatchery is to produce as many and healthy and good fish as possible. That's their selling, that's their profit. And the existing solutions in the market today, they're not a natural prey. The existing solution needs to be enriched to be good. And it's kind of difficult to copy nature. So instead of copying nature, we are producing what the nature will have given the fry in the wild. And that's why our product gives a huge effect in terms of survival and growth and quality of the fish juvenile.
Seafeed is already in the market with your products, working with some of the largest aquaculture companies. Can you tell us more about who these customers are and for which species are you supplying copepods to?
Yeah, we have been supplying what we call the home market for this North European market. We're selling for cod production today. We have been selling for Atlantic halibut many years. But the huge growing market now is the cleaner fish market. You know, the salmon producers have a lot of problems with sea lice now. So they are producing cleaner fish that are adding to the net and just to help them treating the sea lice problems. And the production of these sea lice or these cleaner fish is a huge growing market for us in our home countries these days. So we are already supplying companies like Norway, NELHA already. But we have a global approach, of course, with our products. We are selling to Thailand today, already this year. We just sent our first shipment to Singapore. We're getting into Indonesia recently, and yeah, more countries to come.
So do you have plans to develop the new products from Seafeed? Can you tell us more about your plans there?
Yeah, we have been gathered a lot of experience recently. Yes, we have been running, I think it's 35 trials now in 22 different species globally. And we have seen a lot of hatcheries, seen what they are feeding, what they are doing and stuff like that. And we just want to utilize this knowledge to grow as a whole hatchery segment supplier with alternative or additional products coming from us.
That's great. And you said your expertise. I mean, Seafeed and its products has come out of more than 15 years of research and development. Tell us more about the team behind Seafeed and your products.
Yeah, one of the researchers that started up at Sintef is still here. But I have very good biologists, a very good team here. These are biologists that have been running hatcheries themselves earlier on, so they know the market point of view. And they have seen many hatcheries as well. I have a very good, strong production management, and this is good for these days. They are all asking the right questions, pushing our production up to new heights all the time. So that's quite good. We also have a quite strong board with peer persons or leaders from larger feed companies from earlier on with a global experience and a global approach, which is very helpful when we are going out into the global markets.
Seafeed is seeking investment. How much are you planning to raise, and what would this enable you to do?
Well, we're raising 4 million euros right now. We have 500,000 already in place. We will close this within Q1 next year, but this is basically to grow, more production capacity, more focused market entry. We had a revenue last year for 1 million euros and are selling the same for next year's at least. But more money will give us more capacity and raise this up to maybe 8 to 10 million euros in revenue.
Thank you so much, Tore, and good luck with that capital raise.
Thank you, Tanya.
So, thanks to the copepods of Seafeed, farmers are able to grow their fish faster and stronger. I hope to investors that are out there listening in that you use this opportunity and schedule meetings with our teams. For potential customers who would like to engage with our teams, please use the contact button on the bottom of the page here. It is now time to introduce to you our 7th company live from Ontario in Canada. Please welcome Jason and Katie from Blue Lion Labs.
Water. It's everywhere. We drink it, we swim in it, and we even grow our food in it. The reality is, though, water contains many organisms, some of which can be harmful in certain situations.
For example, when certain species grow out of control, such as sea lice or algae, it can damage the environment. This then translates into billions of dollars in losses and mitigation strategies for drinking water, recreation, as well as aquaculture. With climate change, this number is only expected to grow.
At the beginning of my PhD in engineering, I wanted to use my camera and AI background to work with water. So for my thesis, I built a low-cost camera system that used AI to automatically identify certain types of algae in water. During my PhD, I had ambitions to commercialize this tech. However, I quickly realized that I had no domain knowledge in water or biology.
That's where I came in, with a PhD in aquatic ecology and years of experience working in water quality and algae identification. With our combined skills and knowledge, we built off this momentum to start Blue Lion Labs, with the vision of building a low-cost system that can rapidly identify plankton in water. Our beachhead market for this technology is aquaculture, with the goal of working toward a more sustainable food source. So what happens if you are a fish farmer and you have sea lice or an algae bloom? For algae, a water sample must be taken and then analyzed under a microscope. For sea lice, fish farmers need to remove fish from the pen and manually count the sea lice on it. Both these approaches are manual, time-consuming, and prone to human error.
The main drawback of all these methods is that they deal with the problem after it has happened. At Blue Lion Labs, we are measuring the algae and sea lice before things get out of control. Our solution works by placing a low-cost camera in the water to collect images of plankton. These images are then analyzed and communicated through a dashboard that provides data visualization, analytics, and forecasting. All of this is accomplished with our proprietary machine learning algorithms.
With this automated process, we are able to increase the frequency of data collection from once a week to multiple times a day. The fish farmer now has an early warning sign that allows them to protect their fish and operations from these threats.
Our technology provides an accurate, automatic, and cost-effective method to detect plankton in water. Starting with aquaculture, our technology will support the future of sustainable food production.
But this is just the beginning. Our solution can be applied to drinking water, recreation, and many other sectors to help safeguard our water.
Hi, Jason. You're one of the 2 co-founders of Blue Lion Labs. We learned from your video that Blue Lion Labs originated from your PhD research. Can you tell us more about that?
For sure, Tanya, I'd love to. At the beginning of my PhD in 2016, I wanted to work on a problem that affected everyone on the planet. So for my thesis, I chose to explore how we can use artificial intelligence for water quality. What I learned was that people were manually identifying harmful organisms behind a microscope. So given my background in camera technology and machine learning, I saw a huge opportunity to build something novel. During my PhD, I met Katie, who is an expert in aquatic biology and water quality. And with our combined knowledge and experience, we realized that together we could commercialize this tech. And Katie and I launched the company in January of this year.
So where was the Blue Line company before Hatch, and where are you now?
When we launched the company in January, we were focused exclusively on drinking water. Well, after some market research, we learned of aquaculture and the problems around algae and sea lice monitoring. In order to answer some of our questions around aquaculture and to further explore this new market, we decided to apply to the Hatch program. At the beginning of Hatch, we pivoted the company to build a low-cost sensor for monitoring sea lice in water. I'm really excited to share that at the end of our last month, we were able to test this low-cost sensor in a lab environment. In addition to our testing, we've also dramatically grown our market understanding and network connections over the last 4 months.
So where are you now currently at your product development stage?
Due to my PhD in early work in drinking water, we've already built and tested a significant amount of AI algorithms. However, we're quite early in our product development with regards to our hardware system, and this is because of our recent pivot. However, since pivoting, we've already built and tested a low-cost imaging system to identify sea lice in water. Our testing partner for this was the Huntsman Marine Science Center in New Brunswick in Atlantic Canada. Given we're a Canadian company, we thought we could easily travel within Canada. However, given the pandemic, this wasn't possible. So thankfully, the team at Huntsman Marine was able to accommodate remote testing. What we did is we got all the hardware ready, and then we shipped them our prototype and laptop. Huntsman Marine said that they believe that innovative technologies are expected to lead the Atlantic salmon farming industry into the future. So they're really excited to be working with us. Thanks to those tests, we got valuable feedback on our instrument, and we'll be making future improvements on our hardware.
So for our investors and potential customers tuning in with us today, tell us more about your business model. Is it a technology? Is it a service?
That's a really important question. We intend to sell our technology as a service to fish farmers. So this annual fee will include the hardware installation and maintenance, as well as the software platform. And within this software platform, data will be analyzed and communicated through a dashboard that provides data visualization, analytics, and forecasting. What this does is it gives fish farmers an early warning sign about incoming sea lice and algae, allowing them to take preventative measures to safeguard their crop.
So my final question to you, Jason, what's next for Blue Lion Labs?
The team at Blue Lion is really just getting started, and we have big plans for how our technology can bring value into aquaculture. Given the data and insights from our early testing, we'll be making improvements to our hardware. Once that's complete, we'll start more rigorous testing of our technology with strategic partners. In fact, we're still looking for additional partners and early adopters. So if you're listening and are interested in trialing our tech, please reach out to us and let us know. We're also looking to hire a full stack software developer, so please reach out to us if you know someone who's interested in joining our team. After we complete more testing, we'll be seeking additional investment, likely next year at the end of second quarter, so we would love to connect with potential investors. Ultimately, we believe that we can't succeed alone, and we're looking to partner with others to build technology which will make a positive difference in the world.
Thank you so much, Jason. And I hope the audience will actively use the contact button you find right below here on our webpage. Thanks to the technology of Blue Lion Labs, farmers are able to have a proactive approach when it comes to solving some of the biggest challenges in the aquaculture industry: sea lice and harmful algae blooms. It is now time to introduce to you our final company, Smart Oysters, live from Basement Bay in Australia. It is quite early in the morning for Ewan, but I know he's very keen to share with you their story.
Farming is a challenging business, let alone farming underwater. The location, the tide, the wind, waves and weather all provide a unique challenge to every aquaculture farm. Through time, experience and sometimes sheer grit, an oyster farmer will customise their cultivation method, their scheduled tasks of grading, drying and selling in order to solve the unique challenges of their farm location. That is a lot of information for a farmer to remember, but that's exactly what most farmers do. The locations of thousands of oyster baskets, schedules and tasks remembered by one person. I've been an oyster farmer for 15 years. Over that time, I developed better cultivation methods and established new premium markets for my farm. It was during the growth of the business that I discovered the magnitude of the issue I was facing. After years of farming, I had created an environment where I was the only person who truly knew what to do and when to do it. All the history, all the best practice was in my head. I had become trapped as a farm manager, working the business day to day. My efforts to grow the business became a burden, not an opportunity. Smart Oysters doesn't just make farming easier, it changes farmers' lives for the better. Productivity and profits then flow from that. Smart Oysters uses GPS maps and customisable reports to capture the farmer's unique farm practice. It notifies you when your next grade is due, it assigns tasks for maintenance, it keeps track of where your gear and oysters are. It helps you bring on new staff. In doing so, Smart Oysters also captures information needed to make the business more efficient, more scalable, more investable. But most importantly, if you're a farmer, it lets you sleep at night. Traditional management systems prioritise the collection of data. Smart Oysters is different. We prioritise the needs of the farmer.
Primarily for me, it's actually knowing what's on those farms. Before we used to run around on the barge and you get off and you check every row and every bag, every second bag to see what condition they are. This way you don't have to. This way you just punch it up on your phone and away you go.
I can plot this rack's broken and it needs a repair.
But it's the app that doesn't let anything slip by. Nothing's ever going to get left because your app's telling you that this batch in this position is ready to be picked up.
Smart Oyster app captures the way you run the farm and also gives you a snapshot of the total value of your farm. So that's great for being able to go and talk to banks or investors as to being able to raise more capital to grow the business.
Our solution is turning heads in other industries, with pilot programs running on mussel, finfish and seaweed farms. It's exciting to know that these aquaculture industries also need our solution. Smart Oysters' vision is to create a better world, one farm at a time. By this we mean creating better lives, better livelihoods, better produce and a better environment. And that's exactly what Smart Oysters is already doing across the globe today.
Ewan, good morning and welcome. Smart Oysters has benefited from your experience as a farmer and solving the needs to your farm. How has this translated when it comes to traction to other farmers?
G'day, Tanya. We have farmers all over the world using Smart Oysters. They're based in Australia, New Zealand, the UK, Ireland, and the US, which is our largest market. The reason why we have traction with farmers is because we focused on my biggest pain point, the challenge of operations. We also knew that our solution had to be adaptable and flexible, and that's allowed us to engage with farmers all over the world using all different farming methods. To date, we've earned more than $300,000 in revenue. As mentioned in the video, we're also piloting smart finfish, smart mussels, and smart seaweed. These companies approached us, and with the help of the Hatch team, we've been able to validate there is a real need for farm operation software in the broader aquaculture community.
So what gives Smart Oysters an advantage in the market to other software solutions?
Most farmers do not use any software to manage their farms, and definitely not their farm operations. Other companies entering the market are really validating what we knew, what I already knew, that farmers are looking for a solution. Database management systems have been around for decades. They're complex, they're inflexible, and they don't get the job done. Our competitors have made these systems available on smart devices, but they haven't created anything new. They haven't created any more value for the farmer to drive uptake. The most compelling thing about Smart Oysters is that we can deliver a lot more than database systems, and we do it in a format that farmers understand. Our use of GPS maps works because that's how farmers, including myself, visualize our farms. Our focus on operations works because that's what farmers think about every day. Once you've solved the problem of operations, it's an easy task to deliver data-driven insights back to the farmer.
So what is the sustainability impact of Smart Oysters?
Oysters are more than sustainable, they're beneficial. The oysters on my farm alone filter more than 40 Olympic swimming pools of water a day. The oyster baskets we use are a habitat for juvenile fish and other animals, and they make up in some part for the loss of natural oyster reefs and mangroves. There's benefits for regional areas as well in creating jobs, and those jobs are as sustainable as the oysters themselves. In fact, oyster farming creates a positive feedback loop. A strong industry creates an economic reason to protect and restore the marine environment. I started Smart Oysters because I wanted to grow more oysters. And I believe if we help more farmers do that, we'll have a huge impact in restoring the marine environment around the world.
So the market size, what is this market size when it comes to farm operations software for aquaculture globally?
Our target market encompasses shellfish, finfish, and seaweed. It's a $16 billion industry, and we've identified more than 100,000 farms. Our challenge is that farmers rely on their memory to manage day-to-day operations, and that can be a hard habit to break when you're out on the water, in the wind, and in the cold. So that can be a hard habit, yeah. Oh, so sorry, I was going to say, Tanya, what we know the market, and we've solved a grassroots problem. So I believe we could be more than the market leader. We can actually change the aquaculture industry for the better.
Really impressive. So Smart Oysters is seeking investment. How much are you planning to raise, and how will this enable you to scale your business?
Yes, Tanya, we're capital raising now for $1.4 million. Despite the impact of the COVID pandemic, we've continued to sign up new customers, including 7 new farms in the last 14 days. We want to keep up that momentum, and we plan to expand our direct sales and marketing team from 3 to 10 people. We also want to expand our tech team to support growth. Over the last 3 years, we've really validated that there's a need for farm operations software in aquaculture. We have global sales, recurring revenue. With a strong strategic plan, with a great team behind me, we're ready to scale.
Thank you so much, Ewan, and good luck with your meetings with some investors I know are tuning in with us today. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Tanya.
That was our final company presentation of the day from our Global Cohort 2020. We are very excited when it comes to the future possibilities of these 8 exciting companies and what the future holds for aquaculture and alternative seafood. I hope you have enjoyed the presentation from our companies. They have worked really hard to be where they are today, and they have had some incredible progress over the last 4 months. You have now the opportunity to be a part of their next exciting journey. Please remember to book a meeting with our teams by using the Book Your Meeting for Investors. You are able to book a meeting in the next 14 days. For potential customers or collaborators, please use the contact button you also can see right below the page here. This is your opportunity to get in contact with these incredible teams with their technologies that definitely will have a huge impact of growing a sustainable and healthy food system. If you have any challenges to get in contact, please send us an email to info@hatch.blue, and I'm confident that one of my colleagues will support you. If you want to learn more about our accelerator program or Hatch Innovation Services, please visit our website and sign up for our newsletter. From all of us in Hatch, we wish you and your families a happy holiday, and we hope that you remain and stay safe. We look forward to be connecting with you all again in 2021. Thank you so much for tuning in with us today. Thank you. Ha det bra!